Most people get their water from one of two places. City water is usually taken from surface water resources, treated, and piped to your tap. But if you live in an unincorporated area, you might be getting your water from a smaller on-site well. This water is from underground aquifers, also called groundwater. So, what is groundwater? It's water that collects or flows beneath the Earth's surface, filling the porous spaces in soil, sediment, and rocks. When we say something is porous, that means it has small spaces or holes in it, through which liquid can move. Porosity is an indication of how much water a material can hold. When we say something is permeable, that means it allows liquids to pass through it. Permeability is an indication of how easily water can move through a material. Materials like gravel and sand are permeable and porous. Water flows through them easily, and they can hold a lot of it. Materials like clay and shale are porous and can hold water, but their pores are so small that water flows through them very slowly, giving them low permeability. With this in mind, let's talk about aquifers. An aquifer is a saturated area of sediment or rock that groundwater can move through. Groundwater stored in aquifers can be brought to the surface using wells. Water that collects underground is held in an upper unsaturated zone and a lower saturated zone. The unsaturated zone is located directly beneath the land surface, and the pore spaces hold both air and water. In the saturated zone, all the open spaces are filled with water. The water table is the very top of the saturated zone and the bottom of the unsaturated zone. What does it mean to recharge the water table?
You can think recharge the groundwater table is basically put water into that aquifer. It's like, imagine if you had a glass full of sand and you could pour water into that glass even though it's full of sand because there's all the little holes in between the sand bits. And so you could pour water in there, and then if you drill the hole in the bottom, water would just leak out the bottom. And so the more you pour water in the top, the more you're recharging the ground table or filling up that aquifer.
How do surface water and groundwater interact? Some rivers and streams gain flow from groundwater, and others lose flow to groundwater. Whether your water comes from city pipes or from a well, groundwater is a resource we all share. It is our responsibility to manage groundwater sustainably so that future generations will have access to safe, clean water.